Hey guys, John V from PhoneArena. I'm taking a quick hands-on look at the new HTC One M9. This is HTC's flagship for the first half of the year of 2015. And there's some new changes, both in the hardware, the design, and also a feature set, which I'm going to go talk about. But first things first, let's talk about the design here. Now, honestly, when we first look at it, it looks pretty much identical to the M8 before it. It doesn't really deviate from what HTC has done. It still has that nice premium construction, sturdy feel, good choice of materials, and look, surprisingly, not a whole lot changed in terms of the overall size and weight, though we kind of notice that the M9 is just a smidgen thicker, but it is sporting a larger size battery, so that's something that should be noted. But you have the same, plastic separators on the top, bottom, and I'm going to talk about stuff that we do like and we don't like about the design. So first of all, we do like that it still has that premium feel. It just has a nice touch, and it's not as slippery compared to last year's models. So that's nice. When you hold the hand, it's definitely a little bit grippier as we slide our hands around the back. We also like the fact that they moved the power button from the top edge to the right side, so it's easy, a lot more accessible. And the changes to the camera should be noteworthy too, just because now in the front you have a 4 megapixel ultra pixel camera, which was the rear camera with the M8. You still have dual front firing HTC boom sound speakers, but they've added Dolby audio support. And when you flip it to the rear, this is where things really start to stand out with the M9 over the M8. You now have a larger sized 20 megapixel camera, which has a dual LED flash system, and it can shoot video in 4K resolution. So new camera hardware. So that's really nice to see that they've changed that up. No longer the dual camera system from before. But the thing that we don't like is the fact that it has a dual finish design, as HTC says. And what they mean by that, the choice of materials, it still has metal body for the most part, so the whole back is kind of uniform and flush. Now it's available in 3 colors. You have the silver, gold, and gunmetal. But if you look on the inside, you have this metal accent trim. That's what they mean by the dual finish design. Now, unfortunately, though, the kind of juts out towards the side here. There's a gap, and when you hold it, we definitely feel that it's a lot sharper in the hand on the sides. The nice finish at the back, like I said, doesn't make it as slippery. But at the same time, we're not really fans of this gap here. It just doesn't have the same seamless, clean design of the M8 before it. At the same time, HTC didn't really mess around with the display either, which is a good and bad thing depending on which side you follow. So it has a 5-inch 1080p LCD display. So it's the same size, same resolution as the M8 before it, and quite honestly, some people will be upset by that realization just because most of today's flagships are starting to use Quad HD. It's becoming more prominent. So when you have 1080p versus Quad HD, it's really tough to see it from the specs point of view that there's going to be any sort of competition. But again, at 5 inches, you still get exceptional looking details in the web browser. You could view text, not a problem. Still has the same qualities from before, good viewing angles, a nice natural color reproduction, not too potent or too saturated, and still visible outdoors. But again, it would have been just nice to see some sort of increase to the resolution just to give it that flagship-like status. Now, if we switch gears and pay attention to the software, you're going to notice something familiar yet new at the same time. Now, it's running the most up-to-date version of Android 5.0 Lollipop, which is wonderful. So all the new features with Lollipop you're going to find here. And it's running the HTC Sense 7. So it's a new customized UI running on top of Lollipop. And the familiar things that you have things like the HTC Blink feed on the left panel, so it aggregates your social networking accounts. It still features the same motion launch gestures from before, so if the phone is turned off, you could double tap the screen to turn it on, double tap again, turn it off. You could quickly unlock it by swiping up like that. So it still has all the same motion launch gestures from before. But the thing that's different here is the visuals. Now you can see it still has a very clean look, and for the most part, most people would probably say they didn't really mess a whole lot around with the visuals here. But they kind of did, because if you look around here, if you could actually modify the home screen or edit even themes. You could download a bunch of different ones that HTC provides. And when you download it, it pretty much changes everything with the look and feel of the experience. So of course the colors change, the icons also get changed as well. So you can see with this theme here, when you go in, you could also see some of the changes they've done. And you have complete control, so it's provides us even the ability to change up what icons are in the menu bar at the bottom here. So for example, we've set it up so it shows us our notification. It just pops it up instead of having to swipe down from the top. But you have complete control. You could change the way the icons themselves look when you go into the edit theme mode here. You could even make a theme based on a selection of a picture that you have. So it analyzes the picture and it makes a new theme for you based on that. And there's a lot of control. At the same time, it's not really too redundant or too overpowering, and it's just nice that it still has a very clean, modern look to it. And it's pretty fast too, thanks to the new processor that's in tow here. It's utilizing the Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 chip, so it's the latest and greatest from Qualcomm. And honestly, it is super responsive and fast. In our time just checking it out, it didn't show any sort of lag or stutter, so it's pretty quick and fast, and that's the thing we like about the experience. HTC has also added some really cool photo effects when you take photos. Now with the camera app itself, you could tell it's still very familiar looking. It's pretty clean for the most part. You have some shooting modes. You could adjust things like the ISO, the white balance, even the manual focus is available as well. And once you take a snapshot, it's just really nice that there are a bunch of different photos that photo effects that you could choose from, which really enhances the images here. So for example, you go to the editor, you could also add different effects, touch-ups, various things. You have a lot of artsy looking things going on too with it, which is pretty neat. And there's just a lot of stuff that HTC is giving, again, the user control in beautifying their photos even more. And these are small things that people will appreciate. But when it comes down to taking photos, it's still simple. You even have that motion launch gesture to quickly open up the app for the camera. So that's a quick hands-on look at the HTC One M9. It's going to be available shortly. They haven't specified a date yet, but you could expect it very soon, and most likely in that flagship price point of $20 with a 2-year contract. It's going to be available in 3 different colors. You have a silver, you have a gunmetal, and also all gold finish. You have the dual design finish, of course, like I said before. Now, it's hard to say how this one's going to pit against some of the other, expected flagship smartphones that are going to be coming out this year. But, for the most part, HTC pays homage to what they do best, and that's designing a beautifully crafted phone. There's some new changes that we do like, some changes we don't like. Hopefully the camera is going to pan out to be a decent thing, and even despite the fact that it still uses the same display, it has a larger battery, so we're hopeful that the battery life is going to be longer than before, just because they opted to not go with a higher resolution panel. And with Sense 6.0, there's a lot, 7.0, there's a lot of new software features that are in tow, but they're not really redundant. They're pretty much help to extend the experience by giving users control in the way it looks and feels, and it's just really nice that you have that. And like I said, it's pretty much simple. It doesn't try to mask the experience with anything that we don't like, and for the most part, hopefully it's going to shape out to be a good thing with the final product. So if you guys want to learn more about the HTC One M9, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. It's John V. Thanks for watching.